Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2026 action film, The Wrecking Crew. The film is directed by Angel Manuel Soto and it stars Dave Bautista, Jason Momoa and Marina Baccarin. Now the film follows Dave Bautista's character and Jason Momoa's. They are James and Johnny, the Hale brothers. Dave Bautista is an officer in the Navy. He trains recruits, used to be a Navy SEAL. He lives in Hawaii with his family, very happy. And he's got a half-brother, played by Jason Momoa, Johnny, who lives, well, cross-country, really. They fell out years ago, and they haven't been in touch for a long time. They are brought back together after the death of their father, their estranged father, and they are tipped off that the father was murdered. So they end up essentially investigating the death of their father. This leads them to a corrupt council, like mayor sort of thing, and there's also like a criminal on the island that wants to legalize gambling as it's currently illegal in Hawaii, and he plans on opening a casino, and it's up to the two brothers to put a stop to this. Right, what are my thoughts on The Wrecking Crew? Well, honestly, I've not really been anticipating or looking forward to this film, really. I've not even seen a trailer before I watched the film. It just felt like this was going to be a typical generic, paint by numbers action flick, buddy cop type movie. And I wasn't feeling it, to be honest. And maybe I think partly that's due to, the last few Dave Bautista films I've watched and reviewed have just felt very dull and not particularly good, and it's poor career choice type movies, and some of them serviceable but not to the level of films that you should be making. So I've been kind of like, am I that bothered? But I thought, well, yeah, I need to watch it for the channel. So after checking it out, I'm pleased to say, really, guys, that I was pleasantly surprised with this film. It's not an instant classic or anything like that. It's not that type of movie at all. It's not kind of gonna, blow your socks off or anything. But there's a key element to this film that really makes it work, and it's Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa. They have got fantastic chemistry in this. I mean, really good chemistry. They are, sibling rivalry sort of thing. They are constantly arguing, backbiting, and they kind of forced to work together type of thing. And it's that abrasiveness in the relationship that really makes it. And it's perfect for their personalities. This is a great film for Dave Bautista. It worked very well to his strengths, and it's a great film for Jason Momoa. It worked brilliantly to his strengths. Now, Jason Momoa is he's almost become like, the 250-pound Ryan Reynolds, in a sense of he tends to play, a caricatured version of himself in movies. Every time you see him in a movie, it's Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa and doing Jason Momoa stuff, or kind of the stuff that you expect him to be doing in his real life. And it's no different here. He's full of wisecracks, he's full of one-liners, but he's also incredibly serious when he needs to be, and he can really turn it on in regards to his the physicality side of it. And he's really good in this. I really enjoyed his performance here. It was fun when it needed to, but you also believe that this guy can absolutely kick ass when he has to at the same time. And it was good. And Dave Bautista plays a little bit more reserved character because he's a family man and he's a naval officer. And he's the big brother of Jason Momoa's character in this, so it takes him a while to kind of get up to levels in regards to the aggression and stuff. But there's a great scene near the end where he is fully engaged in the violence that is needed, and he actually has to be calmed down by Jason Momoa. It's a great fight scene as well between him and Jason Momoa. You know, when they kind of come to a head in a scene, that's very, very good, and it's done really well. And it's well paced. The action, when you get it here, is done very, very well. It's light when it needs to be, humorous when it needs to be, but also full on when it needs to be. Weaknesses here. It's a pretty typical story. You know, it's not anything new or special. You know, family member killed, father killed. They try to find out who's done it, and they unravel this conspiracy sort of thing. There is a villain reveal that is so obvious that, you know, you'd have to be an imbecile not to figure it out. The other villain of the film, Claes Bang, is just very generic and completely and utterly, you know, middle of the road type of villain that you see time and time again. And there's some dodgy effects here and there. You know, there's like a big car chase on a highway where there's like people getting knocked off the vehicles and like crashing into other cars and stuff like that, and helicopters crashing, and it looks very dodgy, some of the effects, you know what I mean? It doesn't linger on them too long, but you can absolutely tell that they're effects, you know what I mean? I'm not suggesting that they should have done it practically, but I suspect they could have done and made it look better. But, you know, we don't go into action films like this, you know, wanting Shakespeare. You know, you don't go into this thinking, you know, you want world-class dialogue. You go into movies like this to have a good time, and you definitely have a good time here. The physical stuff is great. There's some great action sequences here and there. There's some great fight scenes, like shooting scenes. You get all of that here. But it's really worth watching, this film, as I've said, for the chemistry between Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa. I would absolutely like to see them again in a film. I thought they had wonderful chemistry. I really, really did. And it worked really well. I thought, but Marina Baccarin, who seems to be in everything these days, and I'm not complaining. I like her. I thought she was only going to be in it a little bit, but she actually turns out to be in it quite a lot by the end of the film. And she plays like Jason Momoa's like girlfriend, even though she keeps trying to break up with him. But, you know, she's got some stuff to do here in the film, and there's other faces that you'll recognise here as well in the film. They've got this fun relationship with the chief of police on the island, who is, you know, pulling his hair out with all the violence that they're doing, all that kind of stuff. And it's a film that, you know, you're not meant to take too seriously, but it's a film that you'll probably have a fairly good time with watching. I think Amazon Prime are pretty good at these films. Sometimes you watch them and you're like, oh my god, this has been spat out by AI, this film, you know what I mean? But others you're watching, there's some chemistry and personality in it, and that sometimes can kind of get the film over the line and make it something of an interesting watch, and this is one of them. So if you've got Amazon Prime, you like a good action film, I don't think you'll be massively disappointed with this one. I thought it was pretty good. So that's my thoughts on The Wrecking Crew. I will see you back here on the channel with plenty more content very, very soon.